Hello, friends. Welcome back to Feni for the Soul. Today is a cricket story, as is very obvious. I'm going to bring you face to face with an old journalist friend, Atreyo Mukhopadhyay. 53 years young, Kolkata based. Atreyo has covered mind boggling 200 plus international cricket matches for many prominent newspapers in India. These include 50 test matches, 150 one-day international matches, and several T20 matches. He's lost count, which is understandable. The story began in 1997 when Atreyo walked into our midday newspaper office in Pune, where I used to work, looking for a sports reporting assignment. So we packed him off for a club football game, and he's never looked back. So now sit back and listen to his story. So good evening, Atreyo. Welcome to Goa. So we have a Goan setting here in this wonderful garage cafe in North Goa, Royal Enfield Garage Cafe. So I'm going to kick off by saying, we know each other now from
28 years.
Yeah.
It was 1997.
Yeah. So absolutely. So what I want to tell the audience is that you had finished your masters in humanities and you walked into our midday newspaper office in Pune, looking out for a reporting, opportunity. So tell us in your own words what happened after that and your first assignment.
Well, I didn't expect anything when I walked into the midday office. Midday in Pune had just started off. And I just walked in and I just said that the first person I bumped into was you. And I told you that, okay, this is what I want to do. And then I was told that, okay, go and do it. What do? Go and cover a football match. Fine. So those days, the Pune First Division and Second Division leagues, most of the matches used to take place in the Pune University ground. And that I was very familiar with that place. I studied in Pune University. I lived there. And that was the ground where we played a lot of cricket. And so that was it. And the first day I came back to office, submitted my report. It was printed. That was my first byline. I cut out the paper, sent it to my father, my parents. But the next day, you told me that, okay, what you've done is fine. But since midday comes out in the afternoon, it cannot offer what is being printed in the morning newspapers. So it has to be different, essentially. So that was my first lesson on my first day. And I thank you for that.
Wonderful. I remember that Sachin and other situation.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah, so please tell us about what happened. What is the Sachin Azhar story?
That was a football match in the Kharki region.
Yeah.
You know Kharki, just outside Pune, which has become part of Pune now.
Yeah.
Cantonment area.
That's right.
And a football tournament was taking place, and Dhanraj Pillai, the famous hockey player, was the
Chief guest. Yeah.
And something happened. An altercation took place. And there was a group of children, young boys, 14, 15 years old. They had possibly taunted Dhanraj Pillai's younger brother, who was known as Gunde Pillai in that area. And something happened. And then these fellows, I'm not sure if Dhanraj Pillai was actually physically involved in that, but the group that he was part of, they beat up these boys. And then I as a reporter, it was my third or fourth day into this profession. So I tried to speak to these boys, and I took down their names and all that. I went back to the office, the midday office. You took my copy. And next day, when I walked into the midday office, you told me, Atreyo, what have you done? You are on the first page of Midday in Bombay. And the headline ran, Dhanraj Pillai beats up Azhar and Sachin. Because of the 5 boys, one was named Azhar and one was named Sachin. And there were three other boys whose names I have forgotten and whose names were mentioned in the copy but ignored in the headline because that's what the headline meant. So that was a very important lesson for me. So this is how you make things newsy. It was a good lesson and as well as a good experience.
Amazing, amazing. And you want to tell us about how you went to the wrong ground and there were only buffaloes grazing there?
Not buffaloes, they were cows actually. I was told that this match is taking place over there. You go there and cover this match. There was a slight difference between the names of those two places. I'm forgetting those names now, but very significant difference, but very minimal difference. I ended up in the wrong place and I saw two goalposts erected on two sides of the ground and some cows grazing over there. So I thought, boss, what have I done? What will I go and tell the office now? Because I can't tell them that I have watched that like this. And but anyway, I think my seniors in the office, including you, Danto, Michael Gonzalez, they were all very considerate. So I got away with it. And it was a lesson because I made sure after that that these kind of idiotics should not happen again.
Fantastic. So, cut to you went briefly to Times of India, Pune from midday, and you learnt, I think, your ropes there. You got more opportunities there possibly
Yes.
to do sports reporting. You want to tell us about that or how you landed the Telegraph job, your first, national, Kolkata paper?
I would say that Times of India in Pune, those days, they had a very small setup over there. The main edition used to come from Bombay.
That's right.
And from Pune, what they used to do was they brought out an 8-page edition dealing entirely with the local news.
Yeah.
For that, one page was dedicated to sports. And Yogesh Godbole was my boss over there. And over there, and Yogesh was a bit of somebody who, when he saw that I am getting better at it, so he used to get away from that. So that gave me actually a great opportunity to learn because I learned how to handle the desk part as well.
Editing, as in editing and making pages.
Making pages, designing pages, editing
Wow.
copies, putting headlines and all that.
Wow.
So that was a very, very valuable lesson.
Wonderful. Tell us about, let's say, the how did Telegraph happen, and let's say your first international cricket match. Do you remember your first international cricket match?
Of course, I do.
Which one was that?
That was India versus South Africa in Baroda in 2000. That was the fixed series.
Wow.
That was the series from where the match fixing scandal broke.
Yeah.
And that was the match where India won that series. They made it 3-1 in Baroda. They lost the last match, which took place in Nagpur. That was 3-2, but that was inconsequential. So I consider myself very, very fortunate that the first ever international match I covered turned out to be such a monumental achievement for Indian cricket because India had never beaten South Africa in an ODI series before that.
Wow.
And I remember that it took about some 45 hours from Calcutta to go to Baroda by train. And so the match lasted 7 hours. My travel took 90 hours. But that was a very, very fascinating experience, no doubt. And those days, you could things were different. I remember that after the match got over, it was a day match, not a day-night match. And a lot of the media people, we could get into the ground. So the players were celebrating. The entire Indian team led by Saurav Ganguly, it was his first series as captain, as India captain.
Yeah.
He was appointed captain right before that series. And so we went into the ground and all that. Players were hugging each other in the huddle and all that. Those days, huddle was not a very official concept.
Yeah.
But we were very close to that. And fantastic experience, of course. Unforgettable.
Wonderful. You also mentioned a little while ago about meeting the great Wes Hall, West Indian fast bowler, and and talking to him about the tide test. So can you tell us what happened in Barbados?
Yeah, that was during the 2007 World Cup. By that time, I was fairly experienced in
As a
covering
cricket journalist.
as a reporter. I wouldn't call myself a cricket journalist. I'm a sports journalist, and because cricket was the presiding sport those days, it was given to me, and I loved it because I like cricket. I play even now. I'm a very bad player, by the way, but that was I met Hall, yes, and it was a program organized by the Barbados tourist ministry or tourism department or something like that. I don't recall exactly. And well, Paul was there. At that time, he was possibly holding a post in the West Indies Cricket Board.
Yeah.
I don't remember what exactly his designation was. So I asked him about the current state of West Indies cricket, and they were not doing well at all at that time. In fact, that was the beginning of the decline. Actually, not the beginning, a little bit after the beginning of the decline, which persists even now. So he was unwilling to talk about that state of West Indies cricket. I asked him about the current state of West Indies fast bowlers. He was reluctant to talk about that. So I was wondering, what should I do? Then I thought I should ask him about that tide test. I knew that he had bowled that last over in the tide test in Brisbane in 61 or 62.
Yeah.
Richie Benaud was the captain of Australia and Frank Worrell was the captain of the West Indies. Hall was to bowl the last over. And those days, those were 8-ball overs. I asked him, sir, can you please tell me about that over? He began his reply by saying, you make me go back a long time in history. And then he narrated ball by ball. In fact, step by step.
Wow.
Worrell had warned him that don't bowl a bouncer. He bowled one. That was the top edge where it went for 3 or 4. And Worrell had also warned him that if you overstep, as in if you bowl a no ball, people in Barbados will not let you back in. So he was very conscious. In fact, he told me that he was bowling from a few steps behind the popping crease. And then I think he also he fluffed with a run-out opportunity. Which delivery I don't remember now. We can always check that he had to run the non-striker out at the bowler's end from about 4 or 5 feet. He missed it because he was so excited. And at that time, I felt he was as excited in 2007 as he was in 1962.
Wow.
And I was more than excited. I had read about that over times and times again. And but to hear from it, hear about it from him is something that I'll never forget.
Yeah. You said you get goosebumps.
I do, because I had read about Wes Hall, that a towering figure running in from almost the boundary line and the golden crucifix bouncing on his chest. What a description. And supremely athletic.
Yeah.
I remember my father telling me he had gone to watch a test match at Eden Gardens sometime in the 60s. He said that Hall running in from the boundary line from that end, and somebody else, possibly Gilchrist or Griffith, running in from the boundary line from the other end. Indian batters are running away. So to see and to meet that person and to hear about that over from him was is something that you live for, but you don't expect.
Correct.
The most precious things about this profession called journalism or sports journalism are the moments which you don't expect, but which come to you.
Just happen sometimes. So I'm just going to move to you just now mentioned that you covered the last test matches of many greats, like Tendulkar's last test match or Sourav Ganguly's last test match. Which one do you mentioned the Brian Lara last test match. So can you tell us about Brian Lara's last test match?
I'll tell you that I was at the Wankhede Stadium in 2013 when Sachin played his 200th and last Test match. I was in Nagpur in 2008 where Saurav Ganguly ended his Test career. But my most memorable farewell international appearance has to be Brian Lara's. He's my favorite batsman. He's my favorite cricketer. If you ask me who my favorite Indian cricketer is, I will say VVS Lakshman. And if you ask me who my favorite cricketer is, I will say Brian Lara. And that was the 2007 World Cup, again in Barbados against England. It was a one-day match, not a test match, but that was his last international match. And West Indies won the toss, possibly. I forgot who won the toss, but they were batting first. And for an exception, there used to be 2 wickets down in 2 overs in that World Cup. But in that match, the first wicket, Chris Gale and somebody else, they batted for some 13 or 14 overs. And the crowd were least bothered about that. They wanted Lara to come in. So when the first wicket fell, there was a roar. And we were seated in an open press box. That press box was not covered. It was not air conditioned and soundproof or anything like that. It was an open press box. So you could hear everything that was happening inside the stadium.
Yeah.
And Lara came into bat and he played some 21 or 22 balls, made some 13 or 14 runs. There was one shot, he played a leg lance of, I think, Flintoff, which went for a 4. And he was just getting into the groove. And at that point in time, Marlon Samuels was batting at the striker's end. He played the ball towards mid-on. It was an easy single. He called yes. Lara, being the non-striker, he responded. He ran down the track. Then, midway, Samuel said, no run. Lara stopped. He didn't even make an attempt to go back to the non-striker's end because he knew it's gone. If it's a direct hit, he's gone. Kevin Peterson fielded the ball at mid-on and threw the stumps down at the non-striker's end. Now, what happened after that is my most memorable cricket experience. The entire stadium was crying. I mean, there were many eyes trained towards the center, and almost all the eyes were moist.
My God.
So, Lara came to the press conference after the match, since it was West Indies lost that game. Samuel scored a century actually in that game. West Indies scored 300 plus, but still lost. And Lara came to the press conference and he ended the press conference by saying, "Did I entertain?" He lifted his arms like this. And nobody said yes or no. The entire press community, they stood up and clapped. So that is, something I will never forget. And these are priceless moments.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fascinating. So, when you look back at, now you are here in Goa covering the World Chess, tournament. So how does this transition from cricket to chess, how are you feeling about that?
I won't call it a transition from cricket to chess. I never considered myself as a cricket reporter.
Yeah.
I always thought that I am a sports reporter,
Yeah.
which means who deals in several sports.
Yeah.
And that's what I have done all my life. I mean, people don't know about this because I've been branded as a cricket reporter. Whenever I got the time, I got into other sports.
Other sports.
Because my editors thought that I am better cut out for cricket, I had to do cricket. That was my job. And so I do not completely understand the game of chess, but I have written about chess. I know the chess players. I know the chess scenario in India or in the world. So I won't say that I know chess, but I know reporting.
Yeah.
I know news. I know how to fight deadlines. So that's what I do.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. So, thank you, Atreyo, for, speaking to Feni for the Soul. Lovely catching up with you. All the best.
Yeah, great. Thank you.